Good evening, gentlemen. I'm back. I'm going to have another session with you. And इस बार मैं आपके पास एक बहुत ही अहम टॉपिक के ऊपर बात करने वाला हूँ. Everybody knows that in India we have got a population of about 15 to 18% minorities, that is basically the Muslim minority. And अगर ये आप इनको add up करें तो it works to more than 220 million Muslims in India. That's a lot of people. But unfortunately, ये जो 220 million है, they have not fully integrated with the Indian culture, the Indian ethos. And बहुत से जो pseudo secularists हैं, they will not like what I've said. पर इनको शीशे में देखना चाहिए, because it is only the mirror which can tell you how you look. Well, gentlemen, जो मैं आगे आपसे बात करने वाला हूँ, and that concerns Narendra Modi and his relationship with the Muslims. In other words, the relationship of the Bharatiya Janata Party with the Muslims. जैसे आपने देखा कि Muslims constitute a big minority in India. In fact, they're the biggest minority. But इतनी बड़ी minority अगर integrate नहीं हो with the society, that country is generally doomed. ये वीडियो थोड़ा शायद हो सकता है थोड़ा लंबा हो जाए, but please bear with me, listen to what I'm saying. और मैं एक बार स्टार्टिंग में भी बोलता हूँ कि अगर मेरे वीडियो आपको पसंद है, प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब टू देम, शेयर विद देम एंड लाइक देम ऑल्सो. ये एक बहुत छोटी सी बात होगी अगर आप ये फेवर मेरे ऊपर कर दें. क्या जेंटलमैन, हिस्टोरिकली अगर देखिए, इस्लाम इंडिया में तकरीबन 8th और 9th सेंचुरी में इन फोर्स आया, और फ्रॉम अबाउट द 10th century onwards the Muslims increasingly became the rulers of North India. Muslim rule in India नॉर्थ इंडिया से शुरू हुआ, और जनरली द बैटल ऑफ तरेन जो है, द फर्स्ट बैटल एंड द सेकेंड बैटल जो पृथ्वीराज ने फाइट किया था अगेंस्ट मोहम्मद गोरी, दैट आई विल से इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ इस्लामिक रूल. उसमें हिंदूज हार गए. आई विल नॉट गो इनटू द रीजंस. इसमें मैं एक अलग वीडियो पहले भी बना चुका हूँ, बट आई विल मेक अनदर वीडियो एज टू व्हाई मिलिटरीली द हिंदूज लॉस्ट द बैटल विद द मुस्लिम्स. और ये कंटिन्यूस डिफीट्स होती गई टिल द मुस्लिम रूल स्प्रेड टू साउथ इंडिया. और एक सिचुएशन ऐसे आ गई जब अंग्रेज आए यहाँ एंड मराठास वर डिफीटेड, दैट मोस्ट ऑफ इंडिया वाज अंडर मुस्लिम रूल. यहाँ तक कि बहुत से एरियाज विच वर प्रीडोमिनेटली हिंदू, जैसे हैदराबाद है, उनका जो नवाब था वाज ए मुस्लिम. सिमिलरली इन द मैसूर स्टेट ऑल्सो फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम the Tipu dynasty was ruling and the majority of the people were Hindu. In fact, even when the Mughals were ruling India, the majority of the 250 million Indians which were under Mughal rule were Hindus. तो एक क्वेश्चन ये उठता है कि इतनी बड़ी तादाद में हिंदूज थे, तो जो मुसलमान थे वो चंद मुसलमान राज कर रहे थे, पर हाउ कम 250 million Indians यानी Hindus were ruled by a few lakh Muslims. और उस टाइम से इस्लाम स्प्रेड होता गया, पर हिंदूज एन मास कन्वर्ट नहीं किए टू इस्लाम. दे नेवर कन्वर्टेड टू इस्लाम, बट इस्लाम स्प्रेड इट्स रूट्स पर्टिकुलरली इन नॉर्थ इंडिया एंड देन स्प्रेड टू साउथ इंडिया, एंड इट कंटिन्यूड until the British came. And during these days of the Muslim Raj, the Hindus were little above the slaves. You know, they were given certain rights, they were given certain privileges also, ऐसी बात नहीं है, but basically they had to pay the jizya tax at a number of periods in their time, and political power उनके हाथ में नहीं थी. And it was also a bit of a humiliation कि जब भी कोई नवाब है या एम्परर है या शहनशाह, उसको कोई हिंदू लड़की पसंद आती थी, तो वो एक मैसेज ही भेज देता था कि प्लीज़ इसको मैं इस लड़की के साथ मैं निकाह करूँगा, एंड किसी हिंदू की हिम्मत नहीं थी कि वो ना बोल दे. सो इट वॉज ए वन वे ट्रैफिक विच कंटिन्यूड. और हिंदूज जो थे, कुछ हिंदूज वो खुश भी थे क्योंकि उनको कुछ पावर्स एंड प्रिविलेजेस मिल गई मुगल रूल में, इस्लामिक रूल में. In fact, a lot of court officials during the time of Aurangzeb were Hindus. And some of these Muslim kings and Nawab, they also patronized Hindu temples. It was basically a give and take affair. But net result was the overall जो suzerainty थी, the superiority थी, was that of the Islamic rulers. जब अंग्रेज आए तो उन्होंने इस्लामिक रूल को तोड़ दिया, and they brought in a lot of fresh air into the country, and that fresh air began to breathe, and the Hindus जो थे ये थोड़े से इमेंसिपेटेड हो गए, बिकॉज उनको जीजी अटैक खत्म हो गया, वो सिस्टम की मैं जी आपकी लड़की पसंद करता हूँ, आई एम टेकिंग ए बेबी, दैट वाज ऑल फिनिश. एंड हिंदू जो मॉरिबेंड हो गए, सी हिंदू सोसाइटी ड्यूरिंग द डेज ऑफ द इस्लामिक रूल हैड बिकम मॉरिबेंड, कास्ट बाउंड, इंट्रोवर्ट, defeatist. That was changed when the English came, because the Hindus started having opportunities, education का, and they began to prosper. And अंग्रेज जो थे हिंदूज को इनिशियली प्रेफर करते थे, बट ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द इंग्लिश रियलाइज्ड कि हम शायद राज इंडिया में तभी कर सकते हैं अगर हम डिवाइड एंड रूल करें. एंड हिंदूज एंड मुस्लिम्स दे रिकग्नाइज एज टू सेपरेट एंटिटीज, एंड they began to even have separate electorates for them. However, the British were not thinking they will ever leave India and go away. तो उन्होंने बहुत सी डेवलपमेंट भी की इंडिया में. It was for their own benefit, but of course they had to go away. And when they were going away, they gave a parting kick to the Indians. And the kick was that they divided India on religious lines, creating a Hindu India and a Muslim Pakistan. Now, a lot of people talk कि उस वक्त इंडिया को हिंदू राष्ट्र डिक्लेयर कर देना चाहिए था. आई ऑल्सो एग्री विद इट. पर जो हमारी लीडरशिप थी, लेड बाई पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू एंड गांधी, वर नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ इट. नाउ गांधी जो थी इज एन एनिग्मा इन वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, एंड ही यूज्ड टू पेंडर टू द मुस्लिम टेस्ट लाइक एनीथिंग. मुझे अभी तक समझ नहीं आई व्हाई ही वाज डूइंग इट, बिकॉज ही probably felt that he should become someone like Buddha, who is respected by all. But even till today, Gandhi is not respected by the Muslims at all. And whatever Gandhi thought of as a secular state and all that has really gone for a bunt, because secularism now has begun to feel a pro-Muslim attitude. During these 1,000 years, which I am telling you, Islam built up its roots in India. A lot of Sufi saints came here, and Guru Nanak was in touch also with a Sufi saint, Baba Farid, who had a lot of influence on his thinking. And Islam also spread on its own in the country, and I can say there was no forcible conversion except in Kashmir, and yet Islam spread in the country. यहाँ तक कि अबाउट 47 में द मुस्लिम कंस्टिट्यूटेड अबाउट 30% ऑफ द एंटायर सब कॉन्टिनेंट, और जब पाकिस्तान बन गया तो इट वाज रिड्यूस टू अबाउट 12%, बिकॉज मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी एरिया जो थे वेस्ट पाकिस्तान में और ईस्ट पाकिस्तान में इनकॉर्पोरेटेड एज ए सेपरेट कंट्री, एंड इंडिया बिकेम ए सेकुलर स्टेट थैंक्स टू द थिंकिंग ऑफ गांधी एंड नेहरू. हालांकि सरदार पटेल की कुछ थिंकिंग थी कि इंडिया शुड बी डिक्लेयर्ड हिंदू राष्ट्र, पर ये नहीं हुआ. एंड जो मुस्लिम्स इंडिया में थे रह गए थे, दे फेल्ट वेरी डिप्राइव्ड इन द सेंस कि पॉलिटिकल पावर जो हर बार कई सेंचुरीज के साथ उनके साथ थी, वो खत्म हो गई. दे डिडंट हैव एनी पॉलिटिकल पावर, एंड दे वर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द अदर पार्टीज फॉर सपोर्ट एंड फॉर डेवलपमेंट. इसमें कांग्रेस पार्टी का बहुत बड़ा रोल था. एंड आफ्टर गांधी डाइड, नेहरू को एक फ्री हैंड मिल गया. सरदार पटेल जो कि प्रो हिंदू प्रोटोगोनिस्ट थे, he could not exert himself. I think in 49 he had a heart attack and passed away. And उसके बाद नेहरू हिंदुस्तान के बादशाह बन गए. He did what he felt like. And he created certain laws which gave a more distinct identity to the Muslims. Now, why he did it, मुझे ये बात में समझ नहीं आई. Because in 1955 he passed the Reformation Hindu Marriage Act, which he reformed centuries old Hindu personal law, but he did not touch the Muslim law. Now ये बात पंडित जी ने कभी एक्सप्लेन नहीं की why he didn't do it. Though in the constitution डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर लिख के गए हैं कि the state will endeavor to have a common Muslim and Hindu law, rather a common civil law for all citizens in the country. Nehru didn't do it. Nehru also brought in other fiscal tendencies in the country without thinking what he was doing, in the sense that he introduced Article 370 in Kashmir, Article 35 was later added in Kashmir, and net result of all this was that a separatist sentiment was created. And at every stage, Nehru never touched the Waqf board, which had thousands of acres of land in India. And the Muslims who had felt deprived began to breathe a little freely with the Congress regime. They felt कि कांग्रेस जब तक है तो हम अच्छे रहेंगे. फिर एक ऐसी चीज, एक फिनोमेना आई which happened in history, and that was the arrival of the BJP. उससे पहले RSS आई थी 1925 में. It was formed with an idea to see that the Hindus develop further and the caste system is put in the back seat. But over the years, RSS has not been able to assert itself, and पहले जनसंघ आई, उसके बाद में the BJP, they also began to pander to the caste states. And at the same time, the BJP thought that in case we have to be in power for any length of time, we must have the support of the Muslims. But the foundation, the background of the BJP is such that the Muslims were taken in by propaganda that the BJP is an anti-Muslim party, and hence they never supported the BJP. और एक और फैक्ट भी है, despite the Congress giving much preference to the Muslims, almost 80% of Muslims continue to remain poor. Particularly जो main states हैं like UP, Maharashtra and Bengal, the Muslims were generally very poor. यानी the poorest of the poor were majority Muslims. उनको कोई डेवलपमेंट नहीं मिला. They only got some sops, political sops कि आपको पावर मिलेगा, ये मिलेगा. And the BJP, खैर कोई कांग्रेस कोई मुस्लिम मेंबर नहीं बनाती थी, but Congress used to get sufficient number of Muslims as their members and get them elected to parliament. But that was all, because कोई ऐसी पॉलिसी नहीं निकाली कांग्रेस ने which could elevate the plight of the Muslims. That is a fact. कि उनकी economic condition improve हो जाए. पाकिस्तान जो था, on the other hand, became a theocratic state, और उन्होंने बहुत जोर से minorities के ऊपर अटैक करने शुरू कर दिए. And in 1948, 30% of Pakistan's population was non-Muslim, that is Christians, Hindus and Sikhs. But as you know, now it is only 3%. And the Pakistanis themselves must answer where those 27% went away. Most of them were victims of mass conversion and intimidation, and many of them just migrated back to India. And that was the saddest part of the country, that the tenets of Islam, which gives equality to all people, were not followed in Pakistan. But India was followed to the extreme in the sense that we were not going to harm the Muslims at all. In fact, we started giving them many sops. And this system of giving sops continued after the BJP came to power. When the BJP came to power, there was a provision, that, we should try and revive Hinduism. It's a very good thing, but there was a warped sense of how to do it. And there was no blueprint. Narendra Modi, who came into power in 2014, was thought to be like the beacon who would bring in the renaissance in Hinduism. But unfortunately, he did not realize the nature of Hinduism. मैंने अभी आपको हिस्ट्री बताई है कि for 900 years Hindus were second-rate citizens of the Muslims, and that is a psychic factor in their thinking. A lot of people may not agree with me. I welcome that, but the fact remains, gentlemen, that in my view that psychic thing has continued, and there is an element of fear among the Hindus not to antagonize the Muslims. But the Muslims are very desperate, They feel they have been deprived of their power, their position, in a way that is true, and the BJP they see it as a threat. Now recently मैं कर्नाटका में एक यूट्यूब के ऊपर वीडियो देख रहा था, उसमें एक मुस्लिम महिला ने बहुत ज़बरदस्त स्पीच दी, एंड इन दैट स्पीच उसने बहुत से ऐसे वर्ड यूज़ किए बीजेपी और मोदी के लिए विच आर वेरी शेमफुल, और मैं यहाँ ये रिपीट नहीं कर सकता, पर ये जो स्पीच थी वॉज गिवन बाय ये लेडी इन बुरका, सो मुझे नहीं मालूम कौन थी वो, एंड देयर वाज अ ह्यूज चीयरिंग क्राउड ऑल अराउंड. तो इट जस्ट अबाउट शोज दैट द मुस्लिम्स जो थे इवन नाउ हैव नॉट रिकंसाइल्ड टू द फैक्ट दैट बीजेपी इज इन पावर, एंड their main aim remains to remove the BJP and bring back the Congress. ये इतनी आसान बात नहीं है कि इन मिनटों में आप कांग्रेस वापस ले आएंगे, बिकॉज कांग्रेस अभी जो है मॉरिबेंड हो गई है, डेड हो गई है, एंड डिस्पाइट राहुल गांधी हैविंग वन 100 सीट्स, दे आर नो वे क्लोज टू पावर एट ऑल, एंड ऑल ही कैन डू इज टू क्रिएट सम पिन प्रिक्स, मोर मेहम, राइटिंग, ये वो कर सकते हैं, एजिटेशन कर सकते हैं. But I don't think other than that the Congress is capable of ever forming the government in India. But the question arises, what is the BJP going to do? Now BJP is a Hindu party, so they made a plan, I think Modi made a plan, in which he thought that we should take the lower classes of the Muslims with us. Those are the poorest of the poor Muslims. He thought that if I give them subsidies, if I give them money, they will realize that we are good after all and support us. पर जो open trappings जो BJP की थी, I think that didn't carry weight. And in all the 3 elections which have taken place in which the BJP has won a majority, that is 2014, 19 and 24, they did not field a single Muslim candidate to parliament. ये itself जो थी एक घबराहट की बात थी मुसलमानों के लिए, एंड देयर वाज ऑल द इंसीडियस प्रोपेगेंडा गोइंग ऑन बाय द कांग्रेस पार्टी, समाजवादी पार्टी एंड अदर पार्टीज कि बीजेपी अगर पावर में आ जाएगी और मोदी पावर में आ जाएगा तो ही विल चेंज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और आपको हिंदुस्तान से बाहर निकाल देगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड क्रिएटिंग ए विचेस कॉल्ड्रन, एंड दिस विचेस कॉल्ड्रन देयर वर अदर पीपल इन इट आल्सो, एंड दैट वाज the Americans. America is a democracy at home, but autocracy abroad. Americans were not very happy कि Narendra Modi is in power. तो उन्होंने कहते हैं ना बहुत जोर लगा लिया, millions of dollars they spent to see that the Congress can win the 2024 election. They were successful in Pakistan, where they were able to remove Imran Khan. But India is too big a country, and somehow or the other the BJP managed to get 240 seats and the NDA alliance could get 292, and as per the rules, since they had a pre-poll alliance, the BJP or as we say the NDA formed the government. और अफसोस की बात यह है कि बीजेपी जिसकी 66 सीट्स आई थी इन द लास्ट इलेक्शन इन यूपी, they got only 33. This time in Bengal they got only 10 in place of 18, and in Maharashtra where they had 41 seats, there also they lost substantial numbers. Now why they lost the substantial numbers? Because of 2 factors. एक तो internal dissension थी, and internal dissension मैंने अपने लास्ट वीडियो मेरा देखिए, उसमें आप देखिए, उसमें I have already pointed out that Amit Shah had a big role to play in this. He went about it in a way in which he wanted to cut Yogi Adityanath to size. ये बहुत गलत बात कर रहे थे वो, but unfortunately he did it, and net result of this was that the candidates which were put up by Yogi were all deleted, other candidates put in their place, and these candidates lost. BJP का नाम खराब कर दिया. And in Maharashtra also BJP followed wrong policies, and those wrong policies was getting people who had dubious backgrounds, corruption charges, like Ajit Pawar, they were brought in despite the opposition of Eknath Shinde of the Shiv Sena, and that result आप जानते ही क्या हुआ महाराष्ट्र में. Similarly in Bengal, there was a big upsurge against Mamta. I can tell you, I have been there and I had seen, पर लोग डरते थे vote करने के लिए against Mamta because there were a lot of gundas of the TMC who were moving around, and there were so many cases of rape and murder and killings in Bengal. And when this was going on, the BJP leadership was totally absent. किसी को नहीं पता था क्या था. Of course, en bloc in Bengal, the Muslims voted for Mamta Banerjee. अगर अवासी भी वहाँ आ जाते उसको एक वोट भी नहीं मिलती. And net result of all this was that Mamta was able to win almost 30 seats in Bengal. And Rahul Gandhi was able to win 6 seats in UP. It's a very great surprise. A bigger surprise is he won the seat which was held by his mother by 5 lakh votes. And Modi had to struggle to win the Varanasi seat and won by only 150,000 votes. तो बहुत शर्म की बात है. पर ये क्यों हुआ? This again happened because there was an alienation of the voters against the BJP. क्यों alienation हुआ? Firstly, there was what is called a consolidation of the Muslim vote against the BJP. And जैसे मैंने आपको अभी स्पीच बनाई है कर्नाटका में जो हुई थी, it is very clear that the Muslims are not ever going to vote for the BJP. आप जितने भी उनको सौंप दीजिए, आपको कितने गरीबों को उन्होंने बीजेपी ने घर बनवाए, कितनों को सब्सिडीज दी, लोन दिया, और ये सब देने के बावजूद दे डिड नॉट गेट ए सिंगल सीट फ्रॉम दीज एरियाज. अभी रिकॉर्ड्स आए हैं हमारे पास पे जहाँ प्योर मुस्लिम एरियाज थे. अगर वहाँ 1000 वोटर्स हैं, एन मास 1000 हैव वोटेड फॉर अदर पार्टीज एंड नॉट अ सिंगल वोटेड फॉर द बीजेपी. तो ये एक रियलाइजेशन मोदी शुड हैव रियलाइज्ड अर्लियर कि मुस्लिम्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू सपोर्ट हिम एट ऑल. एंड हिंदूज को ही हैड एलिनेटेड. हिंदूज जो हमारा कोर बैंक है, दैट इज द मिडिल क्लास हिंदूज, उनको ही बिगैन टू निग्लेक्ट देम एंड ही थॉट ही इज ऑल पावरफुल. दिस इज a very sad state of affairs. And another thing he did was to neglect the RSS. RSS को neglect कर दिया. This was unpardonable. RSS and BJP have a mother-son relationship, but they disregarded the RSS, and there was a statement by JP Nanda कि we are no longer dependent on RSS. No, ऐसे आदमी को फिर भी आप कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर बना देंगे. I mean, has got no relevance really. Gentlemen, so we are at a crossroads. अब Europe has woken up to the menace of Muslims, and the far right there is gaining support. अभी आप देखिए कुछ दिन पहले एक लंदन में बहुत बड़ी डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हुई, मीटिंग हुई, in which they decided that we want nothing to do with Islam. Italy में भी Italian Prime Minister has made it very clear कि even the namaz which you are reading in the courts will be in Italian. You will not be reading it in Arabic. The burqa has been banned there. Same thing in France, Belgium, and the far right is now asserting, and they want that Islam should be wiped out from Europe because they realize that Europe is getting slowly Islamized. वो मैं बात अलग एक और वीडियो में भी करूँगा बिकॉज वहाँ और बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है यूरोप में. As far as India is concerned, we have a very big problem of population. The Muslim population as a percentage is increasing, and also we have not brought in the personal law, the uniform personal law. Now ये एक मोदी की बहुत बड़ी फेलियर है. This has been part of the BJP manifesto for almost half a century, and I couldn't understand why this particular promise to the people in the manifesto has not been put into force. BJP had an excellent chance. I would say Modi had an excellent chance when he had power for 10 years, and this was enough time. 10 years is an epoch, an era, that he should have brought in reform in the Muslim law, which he never did. Why he did, I do not know. There are so many things he never did. There have been allegations that Rahul Gandhi is holding a foreign citizenship. Why couldn't he order a commission and get the whole thing checked up and take action against Rahul Gandhi? He hasn't done it. The Herald case is dragging on for years and nothing is happening. And so many of the corrupt leaders of the Congress, like the Deputy Chief Minister, I don't want to name him, from Karnataka, were called for interrogation by the CBI and all that, and IB and the Enforcement Directorate, and let off, and nothing has happened after that. So all these things continues. Even Sharad Pawar has a very dubious role which should have been investigated. But I think Modi was playing safe. And playing safe doesn't mean anything, because when you do not have your core constituency with you, that is the core constituency of the BJP is only the Hindus. And the BJP outreach to the Muslims became zero. Let us be very frank about it. And I hope Narendra Modi has realized it now. And he also have to have leaders who can inspire confidence. I'm afraid Amit Shah is not that leader. People talk he's Chanakya and all that. I don't think he's anything special at all. He's just creating an aura about himself and he's nothing. And he should have brought in Adityanath as the Deputy Prime Minister or something like that. Because Yogi is a man with a vision. So you need men with a vision. And if you remember, Narendra Modi came to power on the strength of the BJP supporters who decided they wanted him and not Lal Krishna Advani. And Advani was sulking, but he had to leave. So even now I think Yogi is more powerful, more likely, more likable to the BJP cadre than Modi these days. Because Modi has bungled a lot of things. And some of these things are actually pathetic. I mean, like the farmers' agitation, the withdrawing of the farm laws, the CAA, the Shaheen Bagh agitation, Mamta's rampage of murder, rape and all continuing, and Modi sitting and watching from the sidelines. I mean, these things disturbed the Hindus because the Hindus were the sufferers. And it is very sad that this thing has happened. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that the Muslims in time to come are going to be more united, more determined to see that the BJP is defeated. There will be a lot of foreign funds coming in again to see that the BJP loses. And until the Hindus form a monolith bloc, I don't think the BJP next time may win 240 seats. They may come down to 150 seats also. Because one character of the Hindus is there, that they have never been fanatic. And you need a degree of fanaticism to get your religion going forward. Something you have to do. You can't just sit there and say Ram, Nam, everything and all fine. Please let us live in peace. You have to fight for your rights. And in India, we have a sizable Muslim minority which has to be neutralized. How you do it is not for me to say. But Narendra Modi has to do something better than what he has done now. Gentlemen, I think I'm coming to the end of the video. Basically, my purpose was to bring out the fact that the Muslim community in India hasn't accepted India as their homeland, as their motherland. They still look to Pakistan, to Arab countries, and they have no love for the country practically. It doesn't mean it's a blanket ban or a blanket statement. There are a lot of people who are pro-India, would be happy to be with India. But when it comes to the crunch, the Muslims will not vote for the BJP ever. They may vote for Rahul Gandhi, but not for BJP. So how does the BJP win is the question that rises, that is the consolidation of the Hindu vote. And this he could have done by passing laws to favor the Hindus and restore the balance which has been weighted in favor of the Muslims. Even now, all the goodies being served out are going more to the Muslims because they are the more poorer people. I think all those subsidies and all that free ration and all needs to be stopped. Will he have the guts to do it? That is the first question we have. Rather, the question I have. Will he have the guts to act against certain leaders like Rahul Gandhi who have dubious connections all around? It requires courage. Will he have guts to face up to the Punjab farmers? That again is something which he has to face. In any case, he got 0 seats there. And secondly, he would be well advised not to keep talking of everything on Hindi and Hindi. Hindi is a wonderful language, but it cannot be the sole language in India. This is something the BJP must remember, because Pakistan broke up on the issue of language. I hope this is a warning shot to the BJP, and they understand they have to get their act going if they are to win in 2029, and that perhaps would mean that Modi would have to slowly fade into the background as an elder leader, and a younger and more energetic man, maybe anybody, it could be Annamalai even, or the Chief Minister Biswas from Assam, or Yogi Adityanath, any one of them could come up to regenerate the BJP. It needs a fresh transfusion of blood to fight the 29 election. If the same Modi continues in this moribund manner, I don't think it's going to be very good. Gentlemen, I think I'll close now. I hope you like my video. Please share it with your friends, and I look forward to interacting with you again. Goodbye and God bless.